be in movies. And let me tell you something. People mocked me. People cracked on me. They joked with me because they felt like, you're in Camden, New Jersey. How is it that you are going to be a star? You are not even educated. And that's why your education is the most important thing that you have, because I got to tell you, God's grace was sufficient for me. He ended up having to empower me, and I had to catch up to where you are because I didn't have those experiences as a young girl. But people would mock me, and they would talk about me. And I got to tell you, no matter what they said, I still had a dream in my heart. And that's why I tell young people that your dreams are not figments of your imagination, but God is giving you a glimpse of your future through your dreams. And we have to stay focused on our dream, and we have to stay focused on God as we're pursuing our dream. Do you guys get that? So now for me, all right, I'm going through this whole thing as a young girl, and I have this dream, right? Now I'm going to go back to Joseph real quick. Is that okay? All right, so back to Joseph. Joseph's brothers, right? They conspired against him. They took him in the field. They put him in a pit in the middle of the wilderness. But Joseph still had this dream. But he found himself in the middle of a pit in the wilderness. And during that time, there were some Israelites that came by that he ended up being sold to them. And that's how he ended up getting into Pharaoh's house. And part of that journey is what got Joseph to be governor over the land and over the grain, okay? Now, for me, I had my trials. I felt like I was in the middle of a pit in the middle of the wilderness. But then God is so good and so merciful that I still had this dream in my heart. And before you know it, one day at 16 years old, a girl came to Camden, New Jersey named Tasha Campbell. Do you know who she is? Are y'all aware of who she is? And a lot of people don't know this, but when she came to visit Camden, New Jersey, it was interesting because we met her that day, and she just, all of a sudden, just took a liking to my sister and I. And she was a superstar to us because she had already been in school days. She had already done television shows and movies. And we're like, oh my God, Tasha Campbell is here. And we were just excited, and we invited her over our house for dinner. Now, at that time, I mean, it was the biggest deal in the world that Tasha Campbell said yes to come to our house for dinner. And do you know the first day she came to our house, a mouse ran over her foot? I was like, out of all the days a mouse could have came out, the mouse could have come out while we got Tasha Campbell at the house. I said, the devil is trying to get in the way of my dream, okay? So, of course, we were so embarrassed when that happened, but that didn't do nothing to Tasha. She didn't care about that. Tasha just loved on me and my sister even more. And she became a pen pal to us. She said to us, you know what? If you guys ever want to leave Camden and you ever want to come to California, I will help you and I will look out for you, okay? So now, here I am with this dream, right? And I'm up in Camden, New Jersey, feeling like I'm in the pit in the middle of the wilderness, and then here comes Tasha Campbell. That's my connection to Hollywood. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know that in order for us to get where we're going, God's going to put people on our path that's going to help be a blessing to us. And that's why it is so important for us to not only be willing to receive blessings, but to be willing to be a blessing. Because you never know whose life you're going to change and what person you're going to help get to their dreams. You guys got that? So we can't be selfish. We can't be haters. We can't be envious like Joseph's brothers were and like some of the people that we may encounter. We've got to be a blessing to as many people as we can, because everything in life is a seed. Everything we do, your smile, your generosity, the way you dress, dress and carry yourself, everything is a blessing to somebody as long as you do it in a positive way. You got that? So, I meet Tasha Campbell. I'm going to go back to this. Is that all right? Is this information that y'all didn't know, or did y'all all know this? How many of you never heard this story before? Okay, good stuff. So here I go. So Tasha and I, we become friends. We're pen pals, right? So Tasha tells me, come on out. You know, whenever you're ready to come to California, come on to California. And during that time, I was in a very abusive relationship. A lot of people, they may have seen the situation with Rihanna and Chris Brown and that whole thing and think, oh, you know, that's some young, you know, teenage or young adult domestic violence. But I got to tell you all, I experienced some really, really bad domestic violence as a young girl when I was about 16 years old. And it was the most trying, one of the most trying times of my life. And Tasha was a friend that was very, very, very supportive with me during that time. And